Welcome back. The negative impacts of the coronavirus on the big economies were there, and it seemed that it's going to continue at least for a while. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is all the time keen to convene with Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and to the Governor of the Central Bank, Tar Anner, to the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Maït, and Minister of Planning, Dr. Hala Saeed, to study or to review the economic indicators to maintain the stability of the Egyptian economy and to evaluate the success of the Egyptian economy, particularly after implementing our reform. But does this mean that we already passed or succeeded completely to face the repercussions of COVID-19 on our economy? Well, to shed more light on this and to evaluate the economic indicators and how Egypt succeeded in passing this very critical period, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, our diplomatic figure, and our economic expert. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, good morning. How are you?
Sir, I'm fine, thank you, sir. Sir, as I was speaking, every country, whether developed or developing, when it comes to the economy, particularly in this phase, while the whole world is still facing COVID-19, a wave after the other, the repercussions of this pandemic can be found everywhere. According to your opinion and your evaluation, how do you see the Egyptian state regarding this issue and facing this challenge?
First, I must say that we are good people and at the same time we are lucky. We did our duty. According to the international measurements, we are doing our duty. We started a huge economic reform years before the epidemic. That's why we are lucky, because when the disease came, we were already standing on a very stable foot. And as you rightly said, the whole world is affected by the economic implications of the disease. No traffic, 70% of the traffic is cancelled. Tourism is affected, of course. So trade is affected and so on. Thank God that, of course, we are lucky and good people that because we started the economic reform years before, we are one of very rare countries which will continue growth rate with a positive rate. Contrary to many countries, they are diminishing. Sorry to say that. But anyway, we have here two experiences. First, how we face the disease itself. Second, how we face the economic repercussions of that disease. And it seems that we are making a small story of success in the two dimensions. So it's normal that we hear from a day to another sort of report coming from IMF or the World Bank or other international monetary organizations saying that Egypt is doing well. This is the good news. On the other side, we are ambitious. We want our country to be good, but much better than what we are doing. We have, of course, something we have to double our efforts in order to face our birth rate, which is getting higher after the disease. I don't know the reason. I always give a figure to impress my audiences that we gave birth since the revolution of 2011 to a couple of countries in the size of Greece. We gave birth for 25 million children. This is too much. We cannot afford to do that. No country can do that.
Yeah.
And this is the volume of the birth increase in 7 European countries at the same time.
Yeah.
the birth rate in Egypt is much more than the birth rate in China, because everybody is telling you, why not China? We exceeded China in the birth rate, and this is not acceptable, and we have to do something about that. And on the other hand, we have to double our efforts in order to make our growth rate much bigger. We give birth much faster than we give food or produce food nowadays.
Yeah. Ambassador Bayoumi, if you want to elaborate on the rate of achievement in our national mega projects. From now and then, we are surprised with the inauguration of a national mega project in all fields. And it's really amazing to find that hundreds of thousands of job opportunities are now available for our trained human cadres who can shoulder the responsibility of activating or running those projects. Would you please, sir, elaborate on this?
It's quite obvious for anybody who's following our efforts and our economic growth that we are fighting on all the fronts: agriculture, fishery, transport, in the small and medium industries, to give finance to the very small projects for the young people. Roads, and I am amazed really, because I love driving, by the way. I am amazed by the quality of roads everywhere now, and really this is very good. It produces money afterwards, because it cuts short the time you are spending in order to send merchandise to our ports, whether Alexandria or Suez or Port Said. It makes your life easier. Then you come to education. We are spending on education and on health care much more than our constitution is telling us, and this is a very good development also. So I name it any field we are covering. This is very good, and of course we are fond of mega projects because we are pyramid builders. But at the same time, I am very keen to see very small projects and encourage our young people in order to start everyone his own project. This is very good.
Yeah.
And if you follow any dimension of the development, you will find that it is going well with a suitable rate of growth. Thank God.
Yeah. Sir, I'd like to discuss with you another important issue regarding industry, and particularly how to invite or to instill locally relatively new industries in Egypt, like maritime industry, for example, and to benefit from the experience of other countries who had experience in such field. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is always keen even to meet with the CEOs of such international companies to instill new technologies and new industries in Egypt. How do you see this, sir, particularly in the Suez Economic Zone, for example, to be such a logistics hub and to attract more investments from all over the world in this vital area?
This is very good dimension. Especially, I like it because I am from Damietta, one of the most important ports in Egypt. Second reason, because I was managing a project in order to support the Egyptian projects everywhere. And one project we started to help, it was the maritime safety. And thank God, touch wood, that we do not have maritime accidents anymore. Why? Because we asked the highest level of experience in Europe to help us, and we asked Sweden to perform their experience, and now we are following the most important at the international level of maritime safety. Mind you that we have now more than 90,000 ships everywhere. If you go to the Meta, you'll see how they are building small ships for fishing, and we are keen now to produce, of course, and to build bigger ships in order to cover our need for our exports to go everywhere. A country like Egypt, which have the Red Sea and the Mediterranean and the most important waterway, Suez Canal, should have really to produce and to build bigger ships with hundreds of thousands tons, and really we deserve it. So let us hope that we shall reach one day that we are building 100,000 tons of a ship, and this will come inshallah.
Sir, one final dimension I'd like to tackle with you is to revive old industries, or to help many national companies which were closed, unfortunately, as many obstacles were on their way, but returning back to work and returning back to achieve success in the local market, and maybe to export also. Maybe we are going in few years to come to ride once again, or to drive once again, a car which is model is Ramses. Once again we are going to have our made in Egypt car, in the same coinciding with experiencing or having in our streets the electric car, for example, both parallel, hand in hand. How do you see this, sir?
This is very important, and really we deserve what you are asking for. Egypt is not a country of 100 million inhabitants, because for 100 million inhabitants you need something like 200,000 cars.
Yep.
200,000 cars is a small size of an industry. You cannot ask somebody to build a car industry for this size. But if I am saying that we are open to the Arab countries, 450 million, to Africa, 1,200 million, to Europe, another 500,000. So here we can market for Egypt. And I want to tell you a small experience. When Abiy, the Prime Minister of Japan, was here, we asked them to think to come and to start a real car industry in Egypt. And they say, one of them said that we are seeking a bigger market like China. I answered him, our market now is bigger than China. China is 1.2 thousand million inhabitants. Egypt is 2,000 million inhabitants of a market in the Arab world, in Africa and in Europe. And we have to play this, we have to market for this argument. Then we shall have companies who are really keen to produce, in order to enjoy that if you produce in Egypt, you export to all these countries exempted from any custom duties or any trade barriers.
Yeah.
This is something we have to cleverly market.
Manage, yes.
And we are on the right. We are on the right track now.
Well, I usually enjoy our discussion, sir. You are always an added value to our programs. We were very much delighted to have with us by phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, our diplomatic figure, and our economic expert. Have a very good day, sir. Well, by this we come to the end of a breakfast show today. Tomorrow is another day with another crew. Stay tuned only on Nile TV International for more updates, and for more details, please log on to www.nileinternational.net. Many thanks for watching. This was Nermeen Abdurrahman.